everybody, welcome back to another edition of Talkin' Travel with Terry and Darcy, the weekly news edition, although it's not weekly this week because we've been away for 2 weeks. So we're going to do a little bit of a catch up. But my name is Darcy McKillop, coming to you from the East Coast. And with me, as always, is Terry Hawkins on the West Coast, all the way up in Kelowna, BC. How are you today, Terry?
I'm doing great, Darcy. You know, we've had a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of rain, headed to the beach there today. So all is good.
So like I say, we're going to do a little bit of a catch up. We're covering kind of 2 weeks of news here for this episode. So Terry, how about you kick us off with our cruise segment?
Thank you, Darcy. Yeah, catching up with some cruise news over the past couple of weeks here. Royal Caribbean International and Celebrity Cruises have modified their rules regarding the expiration of future cruise credits. Cruise with Confidence FCCs will no longer expire for those future cruise credits that people got from the global suspension caused by the pandemic. The portion that represents 100% of the cruise fare paid on the original reservation will not expire, while the bonus amount will retain the current expiration date. It sounds kind of complicated, but it's really quite simple. If your cruise was canceled during COVID, you receive 125% of your cruise fare in future cruise credits. The 100% will have no expiration to it. The 25% will expire with its current expiration date. So check those expiration dates and give us a call.
Moving over to Carnival Cruise Lines. They have a new program that they've unveiled fleet-wide. They did some testing with it. It's a program called the Menu Mate program, which is an excellent program designed to help crew and guests who may have allergies that they need to deal with the menus. So it's not only in the sit-down restaurants, but any food location on a Carnival ship. It has a little tablet where either the guest or the crew can enter in information about the allergies, and it will tell people what they can and cannot eat based on those allergies. So great move from Carnival, and I would expect many of the other cruise lines will probably follow suit shortly.
A new sphere has been added to the Icon of the Seas. The sphere is 46 feet tall, 50 feet in diameter. It has 578 aluminum external panels, 9 miles of cabling, 1,300 feet of air conditioning ducts, and you can see steel mounting frames on the inside. Royal Caribbean's been pretty mum about what this is, but to me, it looks like some sort of projection theater. You know, it's that or a miniature Cerebro for when Professor X wants to sail the high seas.
Hopefully he keeps Wolverine out of there too. Great news for those of you who love to cruise in the land down under. Cruising has resumed in Australia, so the first time since the COVID pandemic shut everything down. Australia has taken a little bit longer to get going, and Australia's the P&O Pacific Explorer has recently resumed sailing with 1,500 guests aboard. It was exactly 2 years, 2 months, and 15 days after cruising had been suspended in 2020 in Australia. It also marked the very first time that the brand new White Bay Cruise Terminal in Brisbane was used for cruising. So great news all around for anybody looking to sail in the land down under. There's some great itineraries cruising around Australia and New Zealand. So if you're interested, reach out to Terry or I.
Yeah. And Virgin Voyages has delayed the launch of Resilient Lady, citing the global challenges still impacting the travel industry. I think those challenges are impacting industry, all sorts of industry that we see. You know, so the first sailing of Resilient Lady is now scheduled for May 3rd, 2023.
And finally, with cruise news, the Ponant's Le Commandant Charcot will be taking passengers to the geographic North Pole during the summers of 2022 and 2023. These 16-day voyages will start in Longyearbyen and spend 4 days carving through ice floes. Excursions include kayaking, ice fishing, and after donning special suits, ice floating. So I know it's getting a little warmer in the Arctic, especially in the summer, but that would still be a little chilly.
Yeah, I've done ice floating with or without those special suits. No, thank you. And moving over to Disney news, but continuing on with the cruise news. Disney Cruise Line took delivery of their newest ship, the Disney Wish, on Thursday. The Disney Wish is the fifth ship in the fleet, and she will be based out of Port Canaveral, taking the Disney's Dream spot. Her maiden voyage is scheduled for July 14th, and you can, of course, contact Darcy or I to get your cruise wishes fulfilled.
And more Disney news. Minnie Vans are returning to Walt Disney World Resort on June 29th. By minivan, I don't mean a Dodge Caravan. I mean MINNIE vans. So these SUVs with Minnie coloring are fun ways to travel in style between the resorts and the parks, Disney Springs, and they operate using the Lyft app. No word yet as to when they'll resume service to MCO. But you'll still be able to move around the entire resort using these. And if you have children in need of car seats, these Minnie Vans can seat up to 6 people, and they have the option of adding 2 car seats in there as well. So great way to travel around the park style.
They're really lots of fun. And staying with transportation in and around Disney, Brightline has received a $15.8 million federal grant to connect the Orlando International Airport with Disney Springs and eventually to Tampa. Brightline will be contributing a similar amount towards the project, and while there is no opening date announced, it is welcome news to see that this project is back on the rails.
And you and I have talked about this before, Terry. Not only good news for people traveling to the parks, the Disney parks, but also it gives more options for people wanting to cruise. So you don't have to just fly into Fort Lauderdale or Miami. You can fly into MCO or Tampa, and you can still manage to get around Florida fairly easily. So
that's
news.
Right. Yeah, that's right, Darcy. The Brightline will be running from Miami all the way up eventually to Tampa, with plans on connecting into New Orleans. We'll see when that one gets put in, though.
So staying with our theme parks, but we're going to move to the opposite coast, so closer to Terry's home. The Universal Studios Hollywood has given us a glimpse of what Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge will look like when it opens on the West Coast in early 2023. It'll be a mixture of augmented reality, real sets, projection mapping, all set along a moving track. So this sounds like it's going to be a really cool attraction. And I hope to be able to find a way of getting out to the West Coast to give this a try.
And lastly, with the theme park news, SeaWorld Orlando has announced that they will be adding a 7th roller coaster to their park next year. It is still in the concept stage and remains unnamed at this time, but looking forward to having more options at SeaWorld Orlando. And I believe you've got some great air news for us.
It's a bit of an update on a story we've done earlier about Canada Jetlines and their efforts to take off. They actually have moved one step closer to that takeoff after the Canadian Transportation Agency has determined that they've met the agency's financial requirements. So the CTA has already determined that they have met the Canadian control requirements. So now the company just needs to get their air operator certificate from Transport Canada, and they will be ready to board planes and take off to many, many fun destinations throughout the US and Canada and the Caribbean.
Yeah, looking forward to that. More options are certainly great. And speaking of Canadian control requirements, it has been ruled that Flair Airlines meets those requirements as well. That's the ownership requirements, so they can continue to operate.
More great news for another Canadian airline. Sticking with Canadian Airlines, WestJet has begun service between Toronto and Edinburgh. I believe this is their 5th flight that they have that travels to Europe for the summer. They already fly Toronto to Glasgow, Dublin, London Gatwick, and Barcelona from Toronto. They also have a flight from Halifax to Glasgow. So lots of options to get to Europe for the summer if you're looking to travel to Europe.
And Sandals Royal Curacao has opened. It's the first Sandals resort in the Dutch Caribbean. The resort boasts 350 rooms, including seaside butler bungalows, a bi-level infinity pool, 8 restaurants, 3 gourmet trucks, 3 of them, Darcy. 13 bars, and it being Sandals, all the activities are included, from volleyball to cricket to paddleboarding. Certified divers even get 2 free dives per day. It's all included in your Sandals stay. So, give Darcy or I a call and get that booked. And we have one late announcement here too, Darcy, just circling back on the air. JetBlue is announced that they're going to be starting service from Vancouver to New York to JFK Airport. It is hoped that will help alleviate some of the issues going on over at Toronto Pearson.
Actually, one more piece of late breaking news that came out today, Jerry, and we're going to talk about the U.S. Where the U.S. is ending their testing requirements for entry into the U.S. Still need to be vaccinated if you're not a U.S. citizen, but their testing requirements, I believe, end as early as June 11th. I believe they're almost immediate. So that's good news, and I think the Canadian government has suspended some random testing as well. So good news there for making travel a little bit easier. So that was our catch up for missing last week, and in saying that, we will be away for another 2 weeks before we bring back another news update. So if you've enjoyed the show, or if you do enjoy the show, please click the like button, click the subscribe button so you get notifications when we post the shows. Tell your friends, share them around so everybody can get up to date on the travel news of the day. So from the East Coast, my name is Darcy McKillop, and I hope you all have a great week. See you next time.
From the West Coast, I'm Terry Hawkins. Be sure to give Darcy or I a call. Get us working on planning your perfect vacation for you.